we continue the Abdullah Yusuf Ali translation of Suwrah Hajj, the pilgrimage, with Ayat 39. To those against whom war is made, permission is given to fight because they are wronged, and verily God is most powerful for their aid. They are those who have been expelled from their homes in defiance of right, for no cause except that they say, Our Lord is God. Had not God checked one set of people by means of another, there would surely have been pulled down monasteries, churches, synagogues, and mosques in which the name of God is commemorated in abundant measure. God will certainly aid those who aid his cause. For verily, God is full of strength, exalted in might, able to enforce his will. And the word for church, well, the word for synagogue goes beyond synagogues to ritual places. And the word for church and goes beyond just the Christian places. They are those who, if we establish them in the land, establish regular prayer and give regular charity, enjoin the right and forbid wrong, with God rests the end and decision of all affairs. If they treat thy mission as false, so did the peoples before them with their prophets, the people of Noah, the Ad and Thamud, those of Abraham and Lot, and the companions of the Midianites. And Moses was rejected in the same way. But I granted respite to the unbelievers, and only after that did I punish them. But how terrible was my rejection of them! How many populations have we destroyed which were given to wrongdoing? They tumbled down on their roofs, and how many wells are lying idle and neglected, and castles lofty and well built? Do they not travel through the land, so that their hearts and minds may thus learn wisdom, and their ears may thus learn to hear? Truly it is not their eyes that are blind, but their hearts which are in their breasts. Yet they ask thee to hasten on the punishment, but God will not fail in his promise. Verily a day in the sight of thy Lord is like 1,000 years of your reckoning. And to how many populations did I give respite, which were given to wrongdoing? In the end I punished them. To me is the destination of all. Say, O people, I am to you only to give a clear warning. Those who believe and work righteousness, for them is forgiveness and a sustenance most generous. But those who strive against our signs to frustrate them, they will be companions of the fire. Notice how they're not being forced from difference in this world. Never did we send a messenger or a prophet before thee, but when he framed a desire, Satan threw some vanity in among his desire. But God will cancel anything vain that Satan throws in, and God will confirm and establish his signs, for God is full of knowledge and wisdom. This refers to like the satanic verses that people have long altered the scriptures, that people have said stuff among the scriptures that was not in accord with the scriptures and got mistaken as part of the scriptures, or maybe it was in accord, but it wasn't actually part of the things. Just like we find that the King James versions of the Bible actually add stuff later on. Not that it wasn't believed by Christians before, but it was just not part of the text. So you see a lot of examples of adding and subtracting there. But so whatever the nature of that which is thrown in, and hopefully you realize my commentary is not the text itself. The whispers or the parentheses, so not the text itself. So that he may make the suggestions thrown in by Satan but a trial for those in whose hearts is a disease and who are hardened of heart. Verily the wrongdoers are in a schism far from the truth. So, it's not that the prophets are thinking that what is added in is actually part of the revelation. It's what the people are doing. Just like this is referring to when certain things were yelled out when Muhammad was saying the Quran. And that those on whom knowledge has been bestowed may learn that the Quran is the truth from thy Lord, and that they may believe therein, and their hearts may be made humbly open to it. For verily God is the guide of those who believe to the straight way. Those who reject faith will not cease to be in doubt concerning revelation until the hour of judgment comes suddenly upon them, or there comes to them the penalty of a day of disaster. On that day, the dominion will be that of God. He will judge between them. So those who believe and work righteous deeds will be in the gardens of delight. And for those who reject faith and deny our signs, there will be a humiliating punishment. Those who leave their homes in the cause of God and are then slain or die, on them will God bestow verily a goodly provision. Truly God is he who bestows the best provision. Verily he will admit them to a place with which they shall be well pleased, for God is all-knowing, most forbearing. That is so. And if one has retaliated to no greater extent than the injury he received, and is again set upon inordinately, God will help him, for God is one that blots out sins and forgives again and again. And that is because God merges night into day, and he merges day into night, and verily it is God who hears and sees all things. And that is because God, he is the reality, and those besides him, whom they invoke, they are but vain falsehood. Verily God is he most high, most great. Seest thou not that God sends down rain from the sky, and forthwith the earth becomes clothed with green? For God is he who understands the finest mysteries, and is well acquainted with them. To him belongs all that is in the heavens and on earth. For verily God, he is full of all wants, worthy of all praise. Seest thou not that God has made subject to you all that is on the earth, and the ships that sail through the sea by his command? He withholds the sky, rain, and such, from falling on the earth, except by his leave. For God is most kind and most merciful to man. In some atmospheres, the sky really does fall. It is he who gave you life, will cause you to die, and will again give you life. Truly man is a most ungrateful creature. And of course, there are meteors and stuff that fall too. To every people have we appointed rites and ceremonies, which they must follow. Let them not then dispute with thee on the matter, but do thou invite them to thy Lord, for thou art assuredly on the right way. If they do wrangle with thee, say God knows best what it is ye are doing. God will judge between you on the day of judgment concerning the matters in which ye differ. Knowest thou not that God knows all that is in heaven and on earth? Indeed, it is all in record, and that is easy for God. And yet they worship besides God things for which no authority has been sent down to them, and of which they have really no knowledge. For those that do wrong, there is no helper. When our clear signs are rehearsed to them, thou wilt notice a denial on the faces of the unbelievers. They nearly attack with violence those who rehearse our signs to them. Say, shall I tell you of something far worse than these signs? It is the fire of hell. God has promised it to the unbelievers, and evil is that destination. O humanity, here is a parable set forth. Listen to it. Those on whom besides God ye call cannot create even a fly if they all met together for the purpose, and if the fly should snatch away anything from them, they would have no power to release it from the fly. Feeble are those who petition, and those whom they petition. No just estimate have they made of God, for God is he who is strong and able to carry out his will. God chooses messengers from the unfallen angels and from men, for God is he who hears and sees all things. He knows what is before them and what is behind them, and to God go back all questions for decision. O ye who believe, bow down, prostrate yourselves, and adore your Lord, and do good, that ye may prosper. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu rka'u wasjudu wa'budu rabbakum waf'alu khaira la'allakum tuflihun. And again, facing Mecca, nose and forehead, hands, knees, feet, and strive in his cause as ye ought to strive, with sincere and utter discipline. He has chosen you and has imposed no difficulties on you. In religion, it is the cult of your father Abraham. It is he who has named you Muslimin, both before and in this revelation, that the messenger may be a witness for you, and ye be witnesses for mankind. So establish regular prayer and give regular charity and hold fast to God. He is your protector, the best to protect and the best to help. And I haven't always changed the men and mankind to humans and humanity and that sort of thing, but know that it's referring to both males and females equally. Such and the being called Muslim, well, people are saying, well, what about the Arabic language? Well, yeah, okay, maybe the Arabic language wasn't around for Abraham. But we can also say that this word, Islam, the word Islam, the word Muslim, yeah, Muslim, is these words apply to the religion of anybody who is following God's path.